I'm Iris Bagilat. I'm a lawyer. I also did my Master of Laws in Maritime at Dalhousie University in Canada. I'm the president of Dula Seafront Crewing Manila. I'm a trustee of the Alma Maritime Group. Global shipping stakeholders have identified ambulance chasing and Philippines' mishandling of crew claims as the biggest threat to Philippine seafaring, an industry that remits $6 billion into the Philippines annually. The market share of Filipino crew has shown a steady decline of 50% in a short span of 20 years. In 2000, Filipinos consisted of about 28.5% or more than a quarter of the global seafarer population on board ships at a given time. However, in 2020, Filipino seafarers are down to only 14%. Foreign ship owners and the International Maritime Employers Council, or IMEC, have fearlessly forecasted that Filipino seafarers can disappear from the market in the next 10 years, despite previously enjoying the privilege of being the seafarer of choice. Over the past, no need to do this slide, folks, can you go back? Over the past 10 years, Filipino seafarers have displayed relentless litigiousness fueled by ambulance chasers who prowl post-medical clinics, airports, and streets to find potential seafarer claimants. Third slide, please. Unfortunately, seafarers have been winning overwhelmingly at the National Conciliation and Mediation Board level, where at times the hearings do not inquire into facts and law of the case, but are reduced to negotiations on how much the ship owner shall pay, regardless of the validity of the claim. Due to existing law, the ship owner pays the award decided by the NCMP immediately upon release of the decision, even if a party appeals the NCMP decision. Most of the time, when the Supreme Court or the Court of Appeals overturns or modifies the decisions in favor of the ship owners, the seafarers are unable to restitute the owners of the garnished amounts. Despite a categorical ruling by the appellate courts that judgments unduly awarded to seafarers were wrongfully made and should be returned to ship owners, the Filipino seafarer claimants are unable to return the awarded amounts. As of September 2019, the Filipino seafarer claimants, I think you have to go to the next slide, were unable to return a total amount of $34.5 million or about 1.7 billion Philippine peso to their employer ship owners. It is widely known in the seafaring industry that the seafarers' inability to return the award is mainly because they did not receive the full award in the first place. If I go back, if we do have quality decisions at the first instance, there would be no massive reversals or modifications at the Court of Appeals Supreme Court level. What we wrote here as 1.75 billion is not even the full amount of reversals, but only those that were not returned or restituted by the seafarer to the ship owners over a period of from 2011 to 2019 of 8 years. So this is the level of damage, quantifiable damage, that the ship owners have sustained in this Philippine jurisdiction. So please let that sink in. Why are the seafarers unable to return the funds? Because many seafarers grumble that their lawyer receives up to 50% of the award and even more. This practice is so widespread that Republic Act 10706 otherwise has come into law to protect the seafarers. Nonetheless, this law is insufficient as it has not been effective in curbing the unbridled crew claims, which continue to increase in numbers despite the law's passage. More damaging is the persistent culture of employers settling cases under duress to mitigate their losses. So too often, considering that a just case has only a 1% chance of winning, the ship owner employer is forced to settle cases rather than drag itself into litigation, which they know they would lose anyway. So the total amount settled under duress has not been calculated. However, there are indications that it could be way more than the amount of quantifiable damages of 1.7 billion pesos. So what is the impact of this unreturned 1.7 billion NCM awards and settlement under duress culture? Where was I? So what are the impact? First, we'll look at pre-employment medical exam. It has become very stringent over the years. It has been equivalent to serious executive checks for every joining. It is now not accepted to get seafarers that have pre-medical conditions. It has become super stringent on the basis that the ship owners now become liable for even cases that are not really related to their employment. For example, these are pre-existing conditions, even congenital conditions, even conditions that are not related to their stint on board. And for these reasons, the ship owners are forced to be very defensive in their hiring. This has not been good for the Filipinos at the end of the day. Now, I will also go back and look into the other consequence, which is age limit. Our age limit of employment has become lower and lower, just so that the ship owners do not become liable for aging seafarers on board. And our seafarers would come home saying, how come I do not have the same opportunity already to sail even after 55 years old, while my colleagues on board who are probably Europeans are there with so many medical conditions, with so many maintenance medication, and are definitely way older. How come they're allowed to sail by the same ship owner? Our answer is that because these guys will not sue, or their courts will not favor them, notwithstanding the circumstances. So this has now an impact on the employability of our crew, and for those that are not entirely very healthy. And for Filipinos, it is a huge disadvantage, because who of us in this room, after 30 years old, do not take maintenance medication for either hypertension or diabetes? So imagine the pressure we're putting our seafarers in. We also have to look into, and these are just two of the known consequences that we are seeing at the moment.